Are you considering retiring to Portugal? What about Madeira, Portugal? In our last shocked video, we gave 10 things that shocked us about Madeira, Portugal. But is anywhere really perfect? In this video, we talk about 5 reasons why Madeira may not be right for you in retirement.
Welcome to Track Us Down. If you're just finding us, I'm Monique.
And I'm Doug. Our channel is all about downshifting to an early retirement, living a healthy lifestyle, and enjoying all the freedom that comes with it.
After over 25 years of working hard and raising our family, we retired from our careers, we sold everything, and we began our second half of life. We begin here on the beautiful island of Madeira. If you've been following along, you know that Doug and I love living here on Madeira Island. In our other video, as Doug mentioned, we shared all the reasons why Madeira is so right for us, why we love living here, and why we consider this an excellent place to have a base to explore the rest of Portugal, the rest of Europe, and even the world. However, there are some reasons that Madeira may not be for you, and in this video we're going to share 5 reasons that Madeira may not be right for you in early retirement or retirement.
So this is more of a to be fair video. It's a due diligence video. In all our videos, we've been painting a pretty rosy picture of what life is like here on Madeira, and that's all true. However, we don't want to paint only one side of it. We want to give as much information as possible so that when you make your decision, you won't be surprised by some of the other aspects that might affect your life here on Madeira. Number 1, the landscape. Topography, call it what you will, but it's a hilly island. It's great for exercising, it's great for hiking, it's great for longevity, staying healthy as you age. However, if you have mobility problems, if you have a handicap of some sort, if you have a hard time with hills, it might not be for you. To be fair, there aren't a ton of areas in Funchal or around the island that are completely flat or flat for an extended space. So if you want to go jogging, if you want to just walk out your front door and go for a long walk, you might have a hard time finding that depending on where you live. There are areas to do that. The Estrada Monumental along Funchal, I think, is one of the longest, flattest areas in Funchal. A lot of people drive and park and go jogging or biking along there. But as you get up further into the city bowl, there's just a lot of hills, maybe not many sidewalks, and that's something to consider. It's something for us we had to consider with a dog when you just want to go for a dog walk. There aren't a ton of flat spaces readily available. You have to pick and choose. And the rest of the island is just as hilly for driving and for walking. And I know a lot of people could have a real problem with that, and it might affect their decision as to whether they want to spend their retirement on Madeira.
As you know, Madeira is an island, and we love that fact. We also really enjoy airplane travel. So anytime we want to get off the island or go elsewhere in Portugal or Europe, we're happy to jump on a plane and fly to Lisbon or Porto or wherever and begin our travels from there. However, if you are a person who does not enjoy airplane travel, you do not enjoy spending time at an airport, purchasing the tickets, packing for airline travel, then Madeira may not be for you, because there is nowhere from here that you can hop on a train or get in your car and drive to another really major center other than obviously the cities and the places on the island. So if you're looking for retirement for somewhere where you can hop in a car and do a weekend getaway in a car somewhere further than off island in Madeira, that's not here. It would be an airplane ride. So that is something to consider if you are considering Madeira. Do you enjoy airplane travel?
Number 3, about what shocked us about Madeira in a way that you may want to consider that maybe Madeira isn't for you, is the noise. There are many ways to get around here, from the bus to motorcycles to scooters, and because it's an island, as we've mentioned before, most of the cars here have diesel engines, and of course all of the buses have diesel engines. And there are a lot of buses. The city buses, There's some new ones which aren't so bad, and there's some really old ones that are really loud. And then there's the big tour buses, and then there's the cement trucks, and there's a lot of construction going on in Madeira right now. Just the construction vehicles in general, but everything has a big, loud motor. And in addition to that, there's people constantly ripping around here on motorcycles, and they take pride in revving their engines super loud on a big Honda racing motorcycle. So the motorcycles can be very loud. But in addition to that, the dirt bikes. Back in North America, at least where we're from, dirt bikes, ATVs, they're considered off-road vehicles. You can't drive them within city limits just for that reason. They're so loud. And here, anything goes. You can have a scooter or a dirt bike or an ATV. You can hear them coming a mile away, and you can hear them going a mile as they go past. It sounds like a chainsaw on wheels. Everything echoes up and in the narrow streets here, and it can be really loud. So unless you have good windows in your building or your house you're living in, you hear the rumble and the roar of every diesel engine, and as well the construction. I mean, it's beautiful here. They're in a constant state of renewal. They're always fixing things up and building new things. It's a lot of concrete. They love their concrete work, so they're constantly jackhammering up the streets and then packing them down again. It just rattles and bangs all day, and sometimes into the night. It can get really loud. So you have to be careful where you choose to live here on Madeira and in Funchal. Try and pick a place to live that's not near a roundabout, or maybe is a few streets up from a major intersection, because you will notice the noise here for sure.
And also, just to add to that, it hasn't been our experience, but we have heard from other people that even if the traffic isn't the issue for noise, that barking dogs seems to be something that people talk about. That hasn't been our experience, but barking dogs as well.
So just one more thing to consider why Madeira may not be for you is it can get very loud here.
Another thing to consider when moving to Madeira is the language. So English is quite widely spoken, and you can get by on English, but when you move to another country, part of the fun and the joy that we feel is learning the language of that country, so learning Portuguese. And Portuguese seems to be quite a tricky language to learn. Not impossible, and we are definitely excited to learn Portuguese. But if learning a language is something that you shy away from, or that you're not interested in learning, that may be a reason to reevaluate your decision to move to somewhere like Madeira. So Portuguese is a tricky language to learn. If you are a speaker of French or Italian or Spanish, because they're all Latin languages, Portuguese may be a little easier for you to learn. But if English is your only language, Portuguese can be quite tricky to learn. They have a lot of nasal sounds that English speakers don't make. There are a lot of verb tenses. Nouns, like in French, have gender, so that's another issue that you have to learn if you're learning Portuguese. There's also some different sounds, like S's make Z sounds, X's make Z sounds or sh sounds. There's some really different things going on in the Portuguese language. So we're excited to take that on, but if learning the Portuguese language is really intimidating for you or something that you're not prepared to do, then you really need to think if Madeira would be the right choice for you.
So another thing that shocked us and might make Madeira not a place that you want to retire to is the fact that there's actually a lot of work involved in finding a place to rent or to buy, whether it's a home or an apartment here on Madeira. It's not like in North America. There is no MLS here, so you can't look at one site and see everything that's available. It doesn't go live across the internet the second it's available. Here there are multiple agencies and multiple realtors, and every agency has their own listings. They might have the same listings, some of them, but for the most part they all have their own listings, so you'd have to go realtor to realtor, company to company to see what they have. And even if you see something online, whether it's Idealista or with one of the real estate agencies, it's an old listing. It's no longer available. They still have it listed and put out there just to entice people in. So when you see something that, if you're just getting here and you go, hey, that looks good, and you go see them, that hasn't been available for weeks, if not longer. So you can't get too excited about it. You have to go see them. A lot of times also they have things that are for sale that aren't listed. They just kind of keep them in their back pocket. They haven't advertised them publicly yet. So you might be surprised when you go see a real estate agency and they actually have a couple that nobody's seen because they just haven't put them up yet. And then there's just boots on the ground, walking around going from one crane to the next to the construction area and talking to the builders if you're looking for a new build, or as you drive around and walk around, you might just see a vende se, I think you pronounce it, for sale sign by the owner just hanging on their wall or on their gate, and they're just kind of passively advertising it for sale. And other times it's not advertised at all, it's just through word of mouth. You find out somebody says that that place over there is for sale, and you go talk to them and it is. It's different than back in North America. You have to do a lot of the work yourself. It's not what it seems online. You have to do a lot of work and go from real estate agency to real estate agency. It's best to talk to multiple realtors and get them working for you here. So if you're not prepared to put a lot of work into finding a place to rent or to live here to buy, and to walk around and drive around and talk to all these contacts in different real estate agencies and agents, then maybe Madeira isn't the place for you to settle in retirement.
So let's recap the 5 reasons that we thought were shockers that may be the reasons that Madeira may not be for you in retirement, and how we feel about each of those. So number 1 was the landscape. Doug?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it hasn't been a problem at all. We knew obviously that Madeira was a hilly, volcanic island, and we've embraced it. It just makes the hikes and the views that much more beautiful. There are flat spaces that you can find once you get to know the island and Funchal itself. You know what, you just have to take that and make it part of your daily life. I think it's great for longevity, building strength in your legs and walking every day.
The second reason was the fact that it's an island and you have to take an airplane, obviously, to get to other parts of Portugal, Europe, and beyond.
I don't think it's a problem at all. As we've mentioned in other videos, as a resident here, there are mobility allowances to the mainland, to multiple places, whether it's a ferry line or an airplane ride. And it's a quick hop over to Lisbon or Porto and then the world beyond. And plus, in the meantime, while you're back here on Madeira, there is so much to do on the island itself.
The third reason was the noise. Now, the noise for us where we're living right now, that's something that I really feel affected by, that during the day and even all night, there is constant noise. So how have we gotten over that?
Well, you put me on the spot there. Again, if you have good windows and you choose where you want to rent or buy carefully, then it shouldn't be a problem. On the busy tourist streets, if you don't have good windows, it could be loud with the traffic noise or construction. But if you're staying here long term, you're retiring here, you choose wisely, you'll be just fine.
I agree. The next reason was the language. As I said when I was talking about the language, we're excited to learn Portuguese. We know it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're up for it.
And I don't find the language here to be an issue. As we've mentioned before, the people here are very friendly and they don't let you struggle in Portuguese for very long. And most of them actually speak very good English and help you out. And it's part of the fun of communicating, in trying a little bit in their language and they're talking a bit in your language, and with a bit of hand gestures in there, everybody can figure out what the other one is saying or asking about.
And the last reason was how difficult it can be to find an apartment or a house to rent or to buy.
But again, if you put the time into it and make it kind of an adventure, and you're out and about and you're stopping in a cafe and having a coffee or a beer and going and visiting the different realtors, they're
enjoying the moment.
They're happy to have you in and show you what they have, and just make it part of your adventure, part of your experience here on the island, and you will find a place that's appropriate for you.
So those are 5 reasons that we think you need to really consider before making the choice to choose Madeira for your retirement. We considered those reasons. We feel that we have overcome them, and Madeira is the right place for us. We did want to share them with you though, so that you can make the best decision for yourself moving forward.
Just to be fair.
So if you've enjoyed our video, we would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our channel. We put out a video every Saturday, and would love to join you for Saturday morning coffee sometime and our new video upload. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. As usual, check back in and
track us down.